Welcome, everybody. Today is June 29th. This is the last day of our Summer Reading Regatta race legs. We have one more night tomorrow. We're going to have our Venetian Night Rat Party, which is super fun. Everybody's welcome. Everybody will be on camera. Everyone will be on microphone. That's your opportunity to catch up with all the authors, ask them a bunch of questions you didn't get to ask them previously in the month, and play with the spinning wheel. And we're going to give away some prizes and some bonus prizes and some super bonus prizes. We're just going to have a super good time. So if you're in the room tonight, check it out tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And we are not recording tomorrow night, so it'll go as long as people want to hang out in the room. Okay, so, whoops, see, it's been a long month, guys. Okay, Sailor Shore School, Andrew.
You pressed the button too fast. It's just getting rid of it all. Well, you'd like to think you missed out, but you really haven't. Well, maybe a little. We have had 5 Sailor Shore Schools this month, and they have all been a lot of fun. At the start of the month, we had Caroline Tupperman doing images as prompts, and we had a very great class there, and worked on how we saw the world. Kate McNeil did all hands on deck on street and launch teams, and there was a ton of great information. If you're an author, if you want to be part of a street team, you learned a lot there. D.A. Reed, another great series of exercises. You had me at the hook, and we worked on creating opening lines that will keep readers involved right from that first piece. Then just a few days ago, I did a nice little shore school on weapons in fiction and how to write them in fiction. And then yesterday, it was tons of fun and added some great inspiration for me. Brent Seth and Christopher Gare did Land Ho. If you can get a chance, watch that on world building. There was some super discussion. All of these are available for a $10 replay, and you do get the download and a transcript. Hey, this was cheap at 10 times the price. Every one of them was worth it, except maybe mine, but it might have been too. But we had a lot of fun on all of them. I know I've said that far too much. I'm being way too repetitive, but the key to this month was fun. It was good.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had a blast. And all of the workshops, yours included, Andrew, were full of information and really, really lovely and wonderful. And I know I will be referring back to them as I write on my Hermitage this summer. So if you haven't signed up to get one of these workshops, go to pagespromotions.com and you can find them on the replay tab under our festival. So find them there. The last 2, because they just happened, the replays and the transcripts are not yet available, but they should be, I'm guessing, by Monday. I should have everything glued together and ready to go. Tonight, we have 3 astounding authors reading for you. We're going to start with Karin Beery. She's going to read from Avoiding Marriage. But before we read from her, because she's brand new to our community, welcome, 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 Karin.
Thank you.
I am so glad you're here. This is going to be super fun. I love discovering new authors, and I love learning about what you write, how you write. So if you would please give us just a little bit of background about who you are and how you started on your writing journey.
Well, hi, I'm Karin, and I like to tell people I write romantic women's fiction. So it doesn't necessarily follow the traditional romance storylines. But honestly, I don't understand the point of a novel that doesn't have romance in it. So there's always going to be romance in my books. I actually started writing when my husband was diagnosed with cancer, because while he was getting cancer treatments, I needed something to do. And I read through all of my favorite authors and thought, hey, I can do this. And that was 10 years ago. It took a long time to learn how to be able to do that. And I've actually had 2 books traditionally published, but there's been a little break in there, and I have stories that I still want to tell. So this year I self-published my first indie book, which is Avoiding Marriage, which is a follow-up to Practically Married. I hadn't planned on that happening. It did. And I had such a good positive response that I'm actually now working on a follow-up to that. So yeah, it's kind of, I've started down a new path that I hadn't intended to take, but I'm learning, and there's a lot to know. And yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, it does. The writing life is a lot of fun, but the best part about it is you never stop learning your craft. So,
Yes.
when you sign up for life. So,
Mhm.
welcome.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. Can you tell us a little bit of the background of the story that you're going to read tonight?
Yes. So Avoiding Marriage, like I said, is a sequel. It's a novella. I wanted to put out something that people could just take to the beach and read, at the beach with their kids on a Saturday. So it's a fun, short read. But it is the follow-up to Practically Married. And Practically Married, I'm a sucker for a marriage of convenience historical romance. I love them,
Okay.
where the guy has 2 kids and he owns a ranch. So he has to get married because his wife died. And of course they fall in love at the end. I love those, but I had no desire to do the research to be historically accurate. So yeah, I admire anyone who can do that. So I wanted to see how that could translate to contemporary. So Practically Married is my take, a modern take on marriage of convenience. And one of the characters in there is Jess, and she's kind of the crazy ex-girlfriend. And my real friend Jess was not excited that I made her the crazy ex-girlfriend. So Avoiding Marriage is kind of Jess's redemption story. So it starts, and I'm going to read from the beginning of it. And the important things to know, it starts with Jess and Ashley. And Ashley is actually the girl who married Jess's ex-boyfriend. So it's a little bit of an interesting situation.
Kind of like real life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this. And like I feel like I redeemed Jess, so she doesn't have to feel like she's always crazy.
Awesome. Okay. If you will read a little bit for us, please take the helm, and then we'll, I'm sure, have questions afterwards.
Okay. This is chapter 1, and I think it's 5. I think I got it actually a little under 5. We'll see how this goes.
Perfect.
Jess Miller counted another stack of bills as she endured another day of her self-induced, yawn-worthy penance. That's $250, Mrs. Kent. Would you like me to deposit it all for you? The 80-year-old woman shook her head. Not a strand of her blue-white hair moved. I thought my math skills were better than that. It's not a problem. I can fill out a new deposit slip for you if you'd like. Just picked up a blank deposit slip from the pile next to the withdrawal slips. Every slip in its place in her teller cubby at the Boyne Heights branch. Like every other branch of the bank, gray-green carpet covered the floors, matching the counter. Fluorescent lights and white walls created a cold, sterile environment that welcomed everyone in just long enough to do their banking without inviting them to stay too long. Mrs. Kent chattered about her grandkids as Jess typed numbers into the computer. She processed the transaction and handed the woman her receipt. Is there anything else I can do for you? No, thank you. It's so good to see you back in town again. Say hello to your mother for me. When I see her, if Jess saw her. Jessica. She turned around at the sound of her name. Not that she needed to look. Her branch manager was the only one at work who called her by that name. What can I do for you, Mrs. Lyle? Her former high school teacher turned banker rolled her eyes. It's Amy. You're not in high school anymore. It's still weird. Amy chuckled as she motioned her toward her office. Talk with me. Just made sure her drawer was closed before making her way to Amy's office, the only space in the building with any warmth to it. She moved an embroidered pillow from her chair to the other guest chair, careful not to let it fall on the floor. Amy sat and faced Jess, clasping her hands on top of the desk and leaning across it. Why are you here? You asked me to follow you? Not in my office at the bank. You didn't fill out the application for the branch manager at the Bel Air job. Why not? Jess shrugged. Who wants to move to Bel Air? Amy sighed. Jessica, you are desperately overqualified to be a bank teller. I'm happy here. You're bored. True. But I'm near my family. Bel Air is not even an hour away. You can take the promotion and still see your family as often as you'd like. What's really going on? A lot. Too much. I don't mind the work here. I'd rather work a boring job near Grandma Dot than commute for more pay and responsibility. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that yet. How's your grandma doing? Better. The first year after Grandpa's death was hard. She is lucky to have you. Maybe, maybe not. Someone knocked on the open door. Jess, there's a woman here asking for you. Jess leaned to the side to peek through the window wall. Ashley Russell? Why was she looking for Jess? Too many possibilities raced through her head. I'll need a few more minutes. Amy waved her off. Go see what she wants. We can talk about this later. Jess didn't need to, but she wasn't sure her boss would feel that way. Having been properly dismissed, however, she stood and smoothed her gray pencil skirt before tugging the cuffs of her white silk blouse. Just because her insides were a mess didn't mean she had to look it. Pasting a smile onto her face, she stepped into the lobby. Ashley, what a pleasant surprise. She offered her hand, and Ashley shook it. I'm sure it's a surprise, but you don't have to pretend like it's pleasant. We're both adults. We can call this what it is. Just tried to pin down the right word. Awkward? That will work. And I'd like to make it a little more awkward, if I may. Can I take you to lunch? How am I doing on time? Am I still good?
Okay. 2 more minutes.
Okay. Jess scanned the menu again, but she couldn't focus. Let's order first, Ashley had said. Good thing Jess ate at this restaurant often. She already knew what she wanted. Ashley set down her menu and waved at the waiter. Might as well order. I'll take the Cobb salad. Me too. And an iced tea. He took their menus and walked away. As he did, Jess summoned her courage. How are you and Ross? We're good. Getting used to being married. The familiar tug of regret pulled at her, but she refused to give in to it. She could act as nonchalantly as Ashley. How's the family? That prompted a long sigh. That bad? Ashley shook her head. No, they're wonderful. There are just so many of them. It's a big change from spending my weekends at home alone. You're not close to your family? Well, it's just me, my aunt and uncle. They're both around 80 and they live in Florida. I spent most of my adult life alone. Jess could only dream of that kind of space from her family. She'd heard that Ashley's parents had died when she was young, though, so she didn't want to mention it. Instead, she asked, is that what you wanted to talk about? Sort of. How do you feel about the Russell farm? Jess shrugged. It's a good farm. I don't really have any feelings toward it. I phrased that wrong. I meant to ask, what do you think of it overall? Is it profitable, sustainable? What do you think? Well, I'm not sure how to answer that. Is the farm in trouble? Not exactly, but we need help. Jess's nerves switched on, ready for anything. Please don't take this the wrong way, but why are you asking me about this? I'm messing this all up. It was my idea, so I thought I should talk to you. Plus, I thought it might curtail any rumors. Rumors about what? What are you talking about? Ashley pulled a sheet of paper from her purse. Russ put this together last night. It's everything that his cousin used to do at the office. Jess took the page. She could have created the document herself. She knew what it took to run the business side of a farm. Nothing on it surprised her. This looks accurate. Did you want me to review it to make sure they didn't miss anything? No, Russ consulted with his uncle, so we know the job description is complete. We need someone to take the job. We're hoping you would do it. I'm sorry, what? Jess stared at Ashley, waiting for the punchline. When Ashley raised her eyebrows, Jess shook her head. I wish I'd had my phone ready to take a picture of your face just then, Ashley said. I'm sorry, this is just unexpected, bizarre, ridiculous, surprising? I know, it surprised me too, but we need help, and it's more than I can learn in a year. Russ says you're a genius at these things. I want him to have the best partner possible. And I also want to make sure everyone's okay with the situation. The 1-2 punch knocked Jess off balance. That Jess would hire her ex-husband's girlfriend to make life easier impressed her, but the insinuation stung more than a slap to the face. I don't sleep with married men. Ashley raised her hands. I wasn't implying that, but I'm afraid it could be hard for you to see Russ every day if you have feelings for him. I wouldn't want to put you in that position. You're worried about me? No wonder Russ loved Ashley. Talk about selfless.
Okay, I'm sorry, I got to stop you there.
That's fine. That's fine.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. Nicely done. Harbor Crew, do we have any questions for Karin? It's the last day. Step
Absolutely. I'm curious because as I write, I have a significant number of different characters. How many times have you written something and gotten the characters mixed up? Because as you were reading, I was like, okay, we got.
Yes. And actually, and for the sake of trying to make sure I got as much in, I kind of trimmed some things. So, Actually what happens, I get the side characters mixed up. So in Practically Married, when I wrote this, Russ has 3 sisters who are all married and they all have kids. So trying to remember who has, and that's why Ashley's overwhelmed by all this family. So trying to remember who has the older kids, who has the younger kids, and where do they all live? So
did you work with a family tree to keep it all straight?
That was my next question. Do you have any notes?
I do have notes, and I like to work old school, and I lost all my notes and I'm still trying to find them. I didn't save those. So I'm going to have to just kind of start from scratch to write their notes down. But yeah, I like to work on notepads, and I've just got lots of, my next one is actually sitting right here. This is kind of how I like to take notes.
Okay. So this has been, an ongoing now for a year. We've been having this battle. So we need to know what team you are on. Are you on team plotter or team pantser?
Okay, so I have a theory about this.
Oh, good. He's qualifying. It's great.
It's John Cusack right here. I've got a theory.
I'm going to be teaching a class at a writers conference later this year, and I'm calling it Characters First, an alternative to outlining, because I don't plot, but I write copious notes about my characters. And as soon as I know everything about my characters, then I say, okay, I want them to start here and I want them to end up here. And once I know what they're like, I can get them there. And I don't have to have all the plot details, but I have to know who the characters are. So it's more like outlining the characters instead of outlining the plot.
Okay, I think that still counts as plotting. That's character mapping, and I still think it counts as plotting.
Yeah,
it does not.
Nope, I disagree. Nope.
Sorry.
Okay, I vote with Diane on this one.
This is not up for vote. We get each half of the vote.
No, this is up for vote. That's kind of what this is all about.
Nope.
Thank you so much, Karin. I appreciate you reading. We will have more conversation, I'm sure, but I want to make sure everybody gets their readings in.
Absolutely.
Andrew, go ahead.
We do have a question. Was the reading from the first chapter of the book?
Yes, it's from the first chapter of Avoiding Marriage.
Okay, super.
And there is a prologue. I didn't read through the prologue.
And Avoiding Marriage is the second book, and Practically Married is the first one.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good. Super. No more questions, Your Honor. Reserve the right to
I know what I'm doing, right? Thank you very much. I'm sure we will circle back after everybody else reads, but thank you very, very much. Can Diana share her? There it is. It's been a long month, guys. Okay, here we go. So there's the book again, Karin Beery, Avoiding Marriage. So check that out as soon as you can on our Harbor store, which we'll talk about in a minute. You can see that, right? Everybody looks okay. Good. Making sure. Okay. Blank looks frighten me, guys. Okay. Next on our reading hit parade is going to be Marianne Waddill Wieland, and she's going to read from her first book in the series, My Heart for Jill. Marianne is a really amazing, tremendous, prolific author. She writes tons of stuff, and she does it seems, nonstop. So, and she's super generous as well. We're going to be giving away more of her books tomorrow night at the wrap party because she gave me a box of 36. So there you go. Thank you very much, Marianne, for coming. I appreciate it. Just because there are new people in the room tonight, not everybody knows who you are. Can you tell us a little bit about you and your background?
Well, I've been writing most of my life. I started out writing short stories when I was young, and then gravitated into writing scripts and musicals, plays, things of that nature. And eventually, several years ago, decided to see if I could turn that into writing a novel, because I was so used to writing the name, what they said, the name, what they said, could I put the he said, she saids in? And that was kind of how this book started. I had some surgery, and so this book kind of came when I was in my recovery period. And this book is actually my do-over. This is my life that I would have if I could choose it. I would be Jill in this book.
Wow. See, writing is so wonderfully cathartic for us. We get to do stuff like, Andrew and Kate, they maim and they kill, and Deborah does twisted, horrible things to people, and Christopher takes us to lands that we've never explored in our imaginations, and Brent takes us into outer space, and Marianne gets to, be slightly schizophrenic. So it all works.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Yeah, that's great. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Will you read a little bit for us, please?
Yes, this is towards about the 4th chapter end of this book. This is after Nick has had his initial meeting with Jill when he's been forced to compete on her cooking show that's live. They mistakenly think he's the famous French chef they've been waiting for, and he gets shoved in front of the camera. So
okay.
He's actually only come there to pick up his daughter, who had an interview for a job, which was very mystifying because they're filthy rich. She has no reason to work and has never wanted to work. She's grown up in the high society of New York City, and they've moved down to the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains, where he's building a tourist resort. So this is after he's been on the disaster of the show. He's waiting for his confrontation with Mountain Mama, who he thinks is a real person. He doesn't realize she's a character. And he's had a confrontation with his daughter about the whole thing, and he's trying to figure out why on earth does she want a job here in this place. So that's kind of where we start here.
Awesome.
Cross some out while we so hopefully this will be shorter. Then he saw it, Annika's ulterior motive. Nick had had enough. Just as Mountain Mama reached him, Nick jumped up and all but screamed at her. "Who is that?" He pointed at a young man walking towards the seated group at the other table. Jill had expected a confrontation, but what was this? "That is my little brother, Matt. He works in the kitchen. As a matter of fact, my whole family works here. Why? What's the problem?" Nick felt himself losing control. He had known Annika had an agenda for wanting to work here. He should have known a boy would be involved. "Your brother?" he yelled. "He looks more like your grandson. He can't possibly be your brother. Who was your father, Noah?" What was this man's problem, thought Jill. Okay, time out, dude. You get on my TV show pretending to be someone you're not, making a royal mess of my kitchen, and clown around like an idiot on a live show. We can't edit it or cut anything out. Do you have any understanding of what you have done? What I've done? Do you have any idea of what you've done? I came in here earlier to meet my daughter. He saw Mountain Mama look startled and saw her eyes widen. Yes, my daughter, after she had a 4:00 interview for a job. I was grabbed by that short female dynamo over there. He pointed at Lorraine. No one bothered to ask my name, and I couldn't get a word in before I was pushed in front of a camera and announced I was Alphonse Laurent. It is painfully obvious that you don't know him. Nick was pounding his fist on the table, but he couldn't stop himself. Alphonse Laurent, of all people on the planet, Alphonse Laurent. Maybe you should just calm down, said Jill. Nick started up again. I can't even believe someone like Alphonse Laurent would agree to come to a place like this. He waved his arms around, encompassing most of the surrounding area. Jill was starting to get a good picture of this guy. She narrowed her eyes at Nick. And what, pray tell, is wrong with my restaurant? Is Alphonse too good for us West Virginia hillbillies? Alphonse Laurent is the most conceited, arrogant jerk on the face of the earth. I contend he would not come all the way down from New York City to Beaumont, West Virginia, to compete in a cooking competition with a toothless old bat. I don't think you could pay him enough. This place reeks of hillbilly to the max. I feel like I need to whip out a banjo and start a hootenanny just to be in the building. That could be arranged, said Jill through clenched teeth. Nick wasn't finished. He knew he'd gone too far, but he couldn't stop himself. Then the show started, and I was forced, I say, to go along with it. Then you, he pointed at Jill's nose, you started that hillbilly hip hop. Nick demonstrated by doing a tap dance shuffle, waving his arms all around. He began imitating Jill. Hi, y'all. I'm Mountain Flippin' Manny. Nick realized he'd done it now. Mountain Mama was going to let him have it. He could see it in her eyes. Jill wasn't sure if she wanted to punch him or imitate him in return. Toothless old bat, did he say? Jill let out a belly laugh that startled them all. Once she started laughing, she couldn't stop. Nick started to go pale. Nana jumped in. Air you sick, young'un? You know you can get Jill's banjo if you really want to play it for us. Lorraine took her mother by the arm and said, I don't think he feels well. Let's let him be for now. You know what's wrong, don't you? I knowed what's wrong right off, I did. Nana poked at Nick's chest. You've got the bots. Nick sat up again. The what? The bots, Jill said. That's West Virginia for you're sick and you don't know what's wrong. At least that's what Nana calls it. Lorraine led her mother away. Nick said, I've had more than I can take for one day, and now that old biddy tells me I've got the bots. We will totally accept the blame, but that is no reason for you to take it out on Nana. She may be indirectly to blame for why this happened, but she has a medical condition that causes problems that we sometimes cannot control. Jill continued, I apologize for all of this, and I think we need to sit down and discuss it when we've all had some rest. Nick could not seem to formulate a response at that point. The white-haired man stepped forward. I'm Jim Dennison, Jill's father. Who was this Jill they kept mentioning? He stood and weakly shook Jim's hand. Jim continued, how about you and your daughter come by the restaurant tomorrow at 6 in the evening and we'll have some supper and sort this whole unfortunate incident out. Jill and I will be able to figure out what needs to be done. I still don't really understand how this happened. It would be nice for me to go through it again from your point of view if you'd be willing to help me with that. Will that old bat be joining us? Nick pointed to Mountain Mama and knew he should feel some shame in his comment. She probably couldn't help the missing teeth. Maybe they had no dental plan at this place, but surely she could get a bar of soap and some water. No, not exactly, said Jim, but Jill is the owner and chef. She will work this out with you, so will you come? Sure, sure, Nick spoke weakly, and with that he walked out the door hoping Annika was following.
Well done. That was super fun. Oh my gosh, so great. Thank you so much. Harbor Crew, any questions?
Actually, just a comment. Marianne, for somebody who works almost strictly with dialogue, especially when I'm writing, that was brilliant. I loved every word of it. I bought into it right away. You had me at the first sentence and I was with you the entire way. That was wonderful.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I love to write dialogue.
That was super, super fun. Go ahead, Kate.
I'm saving my question for the end, but I will say I've been to more than one hootenanny and they're actually a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So if anybody's discounting that, no, they're a lot of fun.
They are a ton of fun.
You guys, oh my gosh, so much fun. I love the variety of books that we've been getting this month. It's just so neat. And I know I'm being redundant, but it's like story time for me. I absolutely love this. So let me show you the screen again. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. My Heart for Jill from Marianne Waddill Wieland. And Marianne, can you just let us know how many books in this series?
Just 2 right now. I'm writing book number 3. The second one is Gerard's Descent. He's the guy you love to hate in the first book. His story is the second book.
Awesome. Okay. And then the Cooking from the Heart, this is the book that crosses your 2 series, correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll talk about that in just a couple minutes after we go through another reading and we talk about more stuff. But I don't want to forget because we're giving that book away tonight. So, all right. So Jessica is reading next. This is Jessica Tastet. Did I get that right, Jessica? Where is she? Is she there? Jessica?
Tastet.
Tastet. Okay, see, not French. We all know, not
All
French. Okay, awesome. This is Borrowed Treasure. If you haven't figured out by now from my complete and utter blundering of her name, Jessica is brand new to our community. And we're really super excited to have her. Welcome, welcome, Jessica.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about who you are, where you come from, and your writing background, if you could, just so we can get to know you a little bit?
Well, I'm from South Louisiana, where our French is Cajun.
Okay.
So I've been writing since I was a kid. I started writing stories when I was in elementary school, but I began publishing in 2011. And then I took a little brief hiatus and went to graduate school and got my MFA and then came back to it. So I started in 2011 self-publishing, and then I came back after 3 years of taking a little break to go to grad school, because that's all you can do when you're in MFA is write for grad school. So then I'm back. I have actually 2 different series. I have a mystery series, and then I have this one, which is romance. But as Karin said, everything has romance. When you think about romance, everything has romance. But also for me, everything has some kind of mystery and some kind of romance. So everything's kind of like in between and mixed in with all of my stories in there.
Awesome. Okay. Can you give us a little background on Borrowed Treasure? Set up the story for us.
So Borrowed Treasure is book 2 in a trilogy. So the first one was Family Treasure, and this is Borrowed Treasure. They can be read as standalone books, however, because they each follow a different character. In the second installment, Sissy Amy's was previously burned by love. So this is her story, along with Hunter Wells, which is the one who burned her in love. You hear about her briefly in the first story, but then her story isn't here. He left her for her fierce competitor in the local restaurant business, and she's managed to turn her cafe around and make it a huge success, but she still has to see him around in their small town. So as they go through, something happens, of course. The new interest that Hunter is dating disappears, and they are both likely suspects in her disappearance for different reasons, but they are both likely suspects by the local law enforcement. And the only hope to clear their names is to actually work together, because the item that tore them apart, which was the borrowed family treasure, which was a diamond ring, if they can find it, then they can clear their names for her disappearance and possibly find her.
It sounds like a really interesting story. How cool. Would you please read a little bit for us, and then I'm sure we'll have questions.
Yeah. So this is an excerpt. To get it down to the time, just need to know that Sissy is at a downtown revitalization fundraiser with her cousin Harper, who was the main character in the first book. She's attempting to avoid Cecilia Domingue, who she's had issues with, and who is also her ex's love interest. So here's the excerpt. Avoiding Cecilia's group, Sissy slunk over to Susie Rhodes, greeting a few of the lawyers and 2 judges that frequented her business for lunch during the week. In her 2-piece blue suit, Susie stood removed from the invitees, her eyes watching everyone. Her stance hadn't changed since high school, although she'd updated her attire to pantsuits and cut her hair into a short bob she tucked behind her ears. Back then, Susie had taken photos for the yearbook, and everyone had wanted her attention to get within the pages. Today, she wrote a monthly column in a local entertainment magazine, specifically a review of local eateries. Sissy had attempted getting the cafe featured for months now, even sending a personalized gift certificate 2 months ago. The woman had never responded to the invitation, nor shown up as even a patron. But Cecilia's Twilight Fare had been prominently featured, not only as a food review, but as a front page feature on up-and-coming restaurant owners. Susie Rhodes smiled, her cheeks dimpling as Sissy approached. Why, Sissy Amy's, I'm surprised to see you at a swanky function like this. Not your usual soiree, huh? Plastering a smile on her face, Sissy drew upon her southern manner she knew lay beyond her desire to give the woman a good tongue lashing. Since my cafe is located in the center of downtown, I have a vested interest in its revitalization efforts. Laughing airily, Susie's eyes wandered the room as if bored with the conversation. Right, that's true. Your little cafe is down there. I never remember it's there. Susie raised an eyebrow, holding her glass closer to her lips. I know. I've invited you several times as part of that little column of yours, but you have yet to accept my invitation. A sharp, fierce laugh escaped as Susie's eyes met Sissy's. She returned to her survey of the room just as quickly, though. My lord, Sissy, I can't accept every invitation I receive. Sissy scanned the room, her eyes naturally falling upon Cecilia, who stood facing Chef Home from La Home, the elegant downtown restaurant. The two's expressions revealed deep, serious conversation, too serious for a social mixer. Is that why your material has been repetitive? Susie's stance shifted. Excuse me? Sissy smiled, tilting her head. Oh, I thought you were just so busy that you recycled material from the same 4 restaurants. Everyone has been talking. Sissy continued smiling as Susie's eyes lit with anger. The dark-haired, flat-nosed woman bit her tongue, though. They'd all been raised too Southern to truly speak their minds at events such as these. Well, it was nice running into you, Sissy said, bowing her head and exit, but I see a city council member I need to have a word with about lampposts. Sissy pivoted, feeling a surge of confidence from the conversation. Moments ago, she hid behind hideous flowers to avoid her high school tormentor, but they had grown up, even though some didn't behave as if they had. Cecilia and even Susie hid behind country club houses and designer labels still, making others feel as if they didn't measure up in the circles they all moved in. She had to remind herself in their vicinity that she was proud of her downtown renovated apartment and scavenged consignment finds. Spotting Cecilia ahead on her path, though, she pivoted and turned the other way to avoid her. She told herself that with her newfound attitude, she'd probably lose her southern manners and regret it later. Her attention lingered too long over Cecilia, and when she turned, she hit a wall of black cashmere and white softened woven cotton. Reaching her hand out, she pushed herself away, inhaling the masculine smell of sandalwood and musk. From his chest-hugging shirt, her eyes followed the Italian silk woven tie in its beautiful pastel green and yellow swirl pattern. The feminine color selection had been a brave choice for a function such as this, where the men showcased their masculinity in their pocketbooks. So he either didn't know better or his power came with his name. She continued on up to his tie's perfectly anchored knot and landed on the chiseled jawline and soft brown waiting eyes of Hunter Wells. Her nose flared as she inhaled deeply. In awareness of their nearness, she took a step back. Excuse me, Sissy felt her cheeks burn as the back of her neck flushed. A light flickered in his warm chocolate eyes.
Well done. Thank you very, very much. Super visual. And as Kate mentioned in the chat, oh my gosh, let's not cross Southern women.
No, anything that comes out of our mouths is potentially suspect.
Just potentially?
Potentially.
Oh, bless her heart.
Oh, I wasn't going to say it.
I had to do it.
Harbor Crew, any questions for Jessica?
You have to ask yours.
I will. I was giving you guys a chance.
No,
okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So, Jessica, we need to know, because you're brand new to the community, Team Pantser or Team Plotter?
Well, I'm a plotter.
Yay!
No.
So disappointing.
Can you tell who's on what team?
I can tell. I plot out books ahead of time when I write, but then I think character drives decisions as you go. So you have to be open for things in the plot to change, because if you're developing a character and you think, oh, this character will never do this, then that can change a plot mid-story. So I like to know where I'm going before I start, because I don't need to make a muddy mess of it as I go.
That's right. We don't want to be stranded in the quagmire. And just for the record, I did have a main character once abdicate responsibility to be the main character, and so I had to do a complete rewrite. So just because I plot doesn't mean everybody always pays attention. So it does work that way. Any other questions, Harbor Crew?
I feel better.
No, I'm going to have to read it to get an idea, because all three. I've read Marianne's, a lot of what she's written, but Karin and Jessica, there seems to be a lot of interesting twists available here that it'll be fun.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Kate.
Jessica, is anybody in this book based on a real person, and they know that it's based on a real person?
So all of my books have people that I know as part of the characters, mostly people that may have passed, my grandparents or things like that, the old people. Grandparents seem to play a big part in all of my stories, in both of my series, my mystery series, and in this one, they're grandparents. In fact, in this one, the grandfather has dementia. And so I had a grandfather that had dementia, so that's one. And then my other series, it's my other grandfather who had the garden. And so like they're all based off, they all have people in there that are based off of people. I did learn my lesson. My first story I ever wrote was in 7th grade. And, you know, as a typical 7th grader, you're very proud of the thing that you wrote. And it was a 127-page story for a 7th grader. And I let everybody that I know read it. And of course, as a 7th grader, it was also based on everybody that I knew. Like everybody had a part in this story. Well, none of them liked the way that they were portrayed in the story. Absolutely no one. So I learned my lesson from 7th grade that you should not folks that they recognize themselves in the story. So I call it like a conglomeration of people, you know, characteristics and traits and things. But I learned my lesson very early on.
So I go ahead, Kate.
Well, this is just in case you all thought that I was completely ignoring you today. I did see this enormously long message train about dialogue earlier today. Yeah. So when you are writing dialogue to make it authentic, do you hear it in your head? Do you just type it out as naturally as, well, this is what I would say, especially if it's maybe possibly sort of a little bit based on real people?
So that would be a question for all three of you. Marianne, we'll start with you.
Yes, my characters in this book are based on some real people.
And did you steal their dialogue styles?
Yes, my family is from West Virginia. That's where I was born. And so the character of Nana is a combination of my mother and grandmother. And so the accent and the way I've written the character in the book is in that manner of speaking. The Nick and Jill are totally made up. Like I say, Jill's who I'd like to be. Nick is just made up.
Okay.
Gerard in the book is a combination of he who can't be named. I
won't get you into any more hot water because this is going to be on YouTube. So let's not get you. Jessica, what about you? Did you steal dialogue styles from real people?
Yes, all of my stories take place in fictional towns, but they're based on Cajun towns. So I listen to people and I hear the way they speak, and as I pick a character, I pick, okay, this person's going to talk like this. So that it could be authentic, because I hate when something is set, especially movies, when they're set in Cajun area and they have us all wearing hip boots and and pirogues, and I've never worn hip boots and I couldn't tell you how to tie a pirog. So I like to do things as accurate as possible and represent as accurately as possible.
Awesome. What about you, Karin? Did you steal dialogue types from real people?
Not any specific people that I know, just from talking with people in the area. So I did a little stint working for a local newspaper. I live in a very rural area. So our newspapers, most of them come out once a week. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's like 1,200 people here and 1,400 people there. So I got to meet a lot of people in the community. So Practically Married, which is the book you're giving away, there's a farmer in that one. Well, I got to interview a lot of orchard owners and things like that. So just from those experiences, and then in Avoiding Marriage, which I read from, he's a history professor. So his dialogue is, and so I kind of, it's not any specific person, but just having been able to meet so many different people over the years, just remembering that, and just whenever you're creating characters, you're thinking about their education and where they come from.
Right.
Mine are all set in northern Michigan because that's where I live. So yeah, more general influences than specific people.
Andrew.
Yep.
You had fingers in the air. Did you mean the UP or did you just mean you had a question?
No, I wanted to know northern or northern Michigan.
No, I'm in northern lower. So here we go. I'm about right here. Yeah.
So not the Hoopers. Okay. So
no, I'm not a Yooper, but I'm only about an hour and a half from the bridge. So I'm still a troll.
Okay.
Troll.
Yes, the trolls live under the bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So just real quick, show of hands, everybody. Who has stolen a conversation they overheard in a restaurant or a doctor's office? Awesome. All right.
Or airport. Airport's the best place to hear that.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. And especially if you think you have problems with dialogue, try to hear it in your head. Try to hear. There's one of my characters that I always run the dialogue that I know I want to happen through his voice in my head. Yep. And that's how it comes out in the books.
Yep. Perfect. All right. I want to show everybody Jessica's book again before I forget, because it's the end of the month and I'll forget. So here's Jessica and her book, Borrowed Treasure. Jessica, I don't do names well, so pronounce your last name for me again.
Tastet.
Tastet. Okay. See,
that's so pretty.
You have now been added to my list of names that I have difficulty pronouncing, which means I will now pronounce them forever.
Correctly.
Forever. Okay. Awesome. Thank you everybody for reading tonight. I am so grateful you all came. I know this is the last day, and it isn't always the most fun being last, but we have a huge room tonight, so it is actually kind of fun. Super fun. Thank you everybody for coming and for reading. And Karin and Jessica, welcome to the community. I hope you felt welcomed. I hope you will join us again in October when we do this insanity all over again. All right. We're going to give some stuff away because that's the other thing that we like to do here is give stuff away. We're giving away stuff. We're giving away 5 stuff. 5 stuffs. So the first stuff we're giving away is Borrowed Treasure. Ta-da! The second stuff we're giving away is Moments in Time, this collection of short stories by Marianne. We're giving away stuff number 3 is Practically Married by Karin, which is the first book from the second book that she read tonight. Then we're going to give away My Heart for Jill, which was the book that Marianne read from tonight. And just because Marianne is who Marianne is, Cooking from the Heart, we're giving away as well. This is her brand new book. It's an infant in literature. How long has it been out, Marianne?
Less than a month, maybe 3 weeks.
So it's not even a toddler yet, you guys. It's still an infant.
Oh.
So can you tell us real quick, Marianne, just give us the synopsis of the book, really speedy?
Well, it's just a crossover. Characters from my Covert Mission Files, the Henry books, are going to gravitate over into the Mountain Mama series, My Heart for Jill, Gerard's Descent, to help them out with the situation. So what I did is take dialogue from characters from both series and interact them within that book, because I write food and music into everything I write. So this is recipes from food that I've mentioned in all my books.
And just in case you were wondering, really, truly, it's a cookbook. It's got recipes in it, you guys.
Yeah, it does.
So the way this is written is it's dialogue that ties together the recipes. So it's super fun.
Yeah.
It's a different approach to writing, and it's really a fun little adventure. So that's what we're giving away tonight. Let me share my spinny wheel of happiness. You guys have to tell me if you see it, because I never know. Can you see it?
I see it.
Okay, good. We are still having sound issues with the wheel. There's a gremlin in the machine. I apologize. The fun, happy pirate music we've had all month has somehow disappeared in the last week. So Andrew will just have to sing. As you can see, we've got 29 people on the wheel tonight. So lots.
I thought it was going to be Marianne.
Lots of people. Well, Marianne, if you want to sing, go ahead.
Oh, no, Marianne's not singing.
Everybody hum the Gilligan theme together. Okay, that's
There you go.
all right. Here we go. Spin number 1.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started as the wheel went round and landed on Stephanie.
Stephanie, I'm not even going to try and pronounce your first name, Stephanie, but because I would butcher it. So congratulations! Yay! You get a copy of Borrowed Treasure. Here we go. Spin number 2.
And I forgot I was supposed to be singing now, so I'll just have to stop. Could it be? Oh.
Fawn Williams. Yay! You got a copy of Moments in Time from Marianne. Here we go. Spinning again.
Oh. Come on, Chris, jump in. Kate's singing without the mic, and Kate was singing really loud, but had left her microphone off.
See why we have Andrew? Not only is he super smart about all things that we have no clue about, but he sings. Angela, congratulations. You won a copy of My Heart for Jill. Here we go. Spinning again.
Gloom, despair, and agony on me. Whoa, deep, dark depression, excessive misery. There we go, Carla.
Yay, Carla! You get Practically Married from Karin. Yay! And then the final spin on the wheel for Cooking from the Heart from Marianne. Here we go.
Here we go. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Oh, gloom, despair, and agony on me.
Yay, Justine. Good job. You get another book. Yay! So congratulations, everybody, on your astounding, wonderful wins. Let me see if I can do the technology necessary to share the other thing. Here we go. Brent, can you do this?
Yes. So if you want to book tonight, very important, you must email Diana at pagespromotions.com. And I just put a link in the chat, so you don't even have to remember that. You must email her by midnight tonight. Include your name and mailing address. If you do not claim your prize by midnight tonight, it will be rolled over for future drawings.
Absolutely. And the Venetian Night Rat Party is tomorrow night, so what doesn't get claimed tonight will go back into the treasure chest and we'll give it away tomorrow night until it gets given away. That's how that works on Venetian Night. Okay? Hey, Christopher.
So if you do win a book and you get it in the mail, first of all, please let Diana know that you did receive them. Second, check your book for a Life Raft lottery ticket. You're going to scratch off the sale, see if you are a winner or not a winner. If you have won, you're going to take a picture of that, preferably with you, and you're also going to send it to Diana, maybe even post it on Facebook. You will be eligible to win one of many phenomenal bonus prizes, several of which have been donated by authors not even participating this month, but who wanted to contribute anyway.
Absolutely. We've got a really full treasure chest this month. It's pretty cool. So if you got a lottery ticket that proclaimed you are a winner, you will want to upload a video of you reciting this poem in costume and with tremendous drama. I'm looking at you, Marianne, theater person that you are. So again, you may not get your books because I'm going to mail them tomorrow, which means you won't get them before Venetian night tomorrow night when we're doing all the voting. So tonight, you might want to actually go to the Facebook page, look for this. I'll post it again so you can all see it, and do your video tonight, because you never know. Perform the poem dramatically and in costume, post the video, and you could win one of these super bonus prizes. Here's the poem. Out of my window, looking in the night, I can see the sailboats flickering light. Starboard shines green and port is glowing red. I can see the sailboats straight ahead. Sailboats, are there treasures in your hold? Many trunks filled with silver and gold? Sailboats, are there captains at your helm, bringing books for readers of our town? Check out our Facebook page. We've already had some people perform and post their videos. Check those out. Maybe you'll get inspired and do one tonight.
And you have to add in that there was another video posted just as we entered this tonight.
I did not know this. This is good. I will go look.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Diana has posted hers. And that's not all. Of all the videos posted, our membership will vote on our ultimate performance, and that person will win the astounding grand prize, Embracing the Thrill of Fear, with my book, A Slice of Fear. And you'll take it to the next level as you find your way to Barnes & Noble to spend your $50 gift card on new books and pirate booty. But you're not done. You also have to eat and use your $25 American Express gift card for dinner, cool bookmarks, nifty eye patches, maybe a sword or two. What better way to face your fear and move past it with books and your imagination? Won't it be fun?
It will be fun. Super fun.
We're going to miss the little head on the wall. It's
him right there. He's cute. Thank
what's
you,
his name?
Andrew. George.
Oh,
Thank you,
right.
Andrew, for all of your wonderful generosity in this prize pack. We really, really super appreciate you. Okay, today's the last day, authors, to collect points. If you didn't get points for tonight, the standings will be what the standings will be in the morning. As you can see, Captain Christopher Gare and Captain D.A. Deborah Reed have made it to Mackinac. Congratulations, you will be receiving the super snazzy medal of congratulateness. Okay, it's getting late, guys. I'm making up words. Okay, and then tomorrow morning when I get the report from Zoom, I will add all of the numbers as I do every day, and you guys can all see your standings. If you've made it to Mackinac, you will be put on the spinning wheel of happiness tomorrow night for the Captain of the Fleet Award, and that includes this snazzy trophy right here. It's pretty snazzy. It's like glass acrylic. It's really neat. And then all of this other pirate booty you will get as well. Most importantly, of course, from this prize is the free registration for our October book festival, which is coming up this October. That's right, this October. And we're working really, really hard at finalizing those plans. The sign-up form should be up within the next week or so, so that everybody can reserve their time. It will be a limited release. And we're going to try really hard to do a hybrid festival in October, a little bit live and a little bit video recording as well. So check that one out. Okay, here we go. Hey, Brent or Kate, whoever speaks up first.
Go, Brent.
Okay. Any of all participating authors in the June Reading Regatta can find our books at the Harbor Store catalog at pagespromotions.com. Also included are links to our sales pages, websites, and contact information. So if you're interested in anything and want to look up more, to go to the Harbor Store. And Pages Promotion does not collect any royalties from it. All of it goes straight to the authors, just as if you bought it from your local store, if those still existed.
Right. And I know of some local bookstores that do still exist that carry indie authors. So
And they're hard to
please
find.
patronize them. Toadvine Books in Berkeley, R&B Books in Grand Blanc. Who else? Anybody else? Andrew, you know of any other bookstores in the areas that you can think of?
Paper Trail in Royal
Paper
Oak.
Trail in Royal Oak.
Book and Kava Shop.
And that's in Muskegon, right?
That's in Whitehall, the Whitehall area.
And then I know that Horizon Books in Traverse City also carries indie authors because my books are there as well. So
there's one in Manistee too, and what is that one?
And people are also popping them into the chat too, so everybody pop like over there too.
There's also Epilogue Books, which is out near Deborah in Rockford area. So yeah, just do a Google search, look for independent booksellers, and please help support them because they do support us like crazy. Bookmark in Ludington, Horizon Books in Cadillac, Blue Stocking Bookshop in Holland.
Book Nooks in Montague. Yep. Thank you, Joan.
Awesome. So yeah, so check them out. Be nice to them. They are super nice to us. Okay. That is it for the night. We have had a tremendous month. This has been so much fun. Thank you, Karin and Jessica, for dipping your feet into our wacky little pond of silliness. We are so glad that you're here. Marianne, thanks for coming back again, as you do over and over again. We're going to do shots across the bow as we do every night. But before we do that, I have to do a special shout out to Caroline Topperman in Toronto, who has been a member of our harbor crew all month long. And also a shout out to Deborah Reed here in Michigan, and she has also been on our harbor crew all month long. I'm telling you true, guys, I could not make this happen without the harbor crew. They have maintained my sanity. They have helped me with brainstorming. They have helped me with logistics, and I cannot thank you guys enough. Christopher Gare, Brent Seth, Andrew Smith, Kate McNeil, thank you for being on my harbor crew. So final shot across the bow, Christopher Gare.
Karin, Jessica, I would not want to cross your characters in any sense of the word whatsoever. Marianne, if I had to sit with your characters, I want a big bowl of ice cream, just sit there and just eat and watch them and laugh. I've enjoyed this immensely. I'm told possibly in October, or some of the things that we're looking at, if somebody's a pet shop owner and they own spiders and snakes, we're thinking of doing auctioning off a date with Kate. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Why?
Oh, that's right, you're here. That's awkward.
Oh my God.
Forgot the sharks. You forgot the sharks.
I need a nap. Oh my God.
You and me both. Okay, Brent Seth, shots across the bow, sir.
Great readings tonight. It reminds me of when I was in junior high and would read my sister's romance books when no one was looking. So really good tonight. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Kate McNeil, shots across the bow. Feel free to, keep it family friendly, but attack Christopher if you like. Go right ahead.
That's what I'm saying to Christopher right there. Other than that, I would just like to say thank you so much to everybody whose names have popped up consistently every single day, or most every single day this month. Thank you so much for what you do, for the support that you show. Please know that that does not go unrecognized.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. Andrew Smith, shots across the bow, sir.
Yeah, well, see, I will admit it, Brent. When I was in my teens, I was reading romance constantly, just because it was there. So, it was fun. It was awesome. And it kind of shaped how some of the things that I write. But this was a great.
This is why you have a big heart, Andrew. You read romance as a teenager.
It's not. But all three readings were really awesome. I giggled, I laughed, and I wondered, oh, is that one of my old relationships? There was a, it was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate everybody coming. This is all because we've got a great bunch of people, and it keeps growing. So thank you, all of you, and thank you everybody that was out in the audience today. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Thank you, everybody, for a super fun, supportive month. I hope to see the room so full of people tomorrow that I have to shift to the big screen. So come out tomorrow. The Venetian night wrap party is at 7 o'clock. It is not recorded, so we can be people. Feel free to come in costume. You never know, we might give away prizes for people who get brave and come in costume. And I do still have a really full treasure chest of stuff to give away. So join us. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a good time. Thank you everybody who posted videos on our Facebook page, and don't forget, do that tonight if you haven't already. Thanks everybody. Have a lovely evening. We will see you at the party tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'll come back now here.